WWE 2K26, we have the news, the leaks, and the rumours here for you today, so make sure you do smash that subscribe button, elbow drop the like button, and of course, make sure you smack talk your comments down below in the comments section. So, with WWE 2K25 being one of the most popular games in the franchise's history, how can they build upon and improve WWE 2K26? Well, we are going to be taking one giant look at all of the news, the rumours and the leaks for you, and we're starting off with the core gameplay and mechanics. We had a grappling system overhaul last year, but many fans want it to go back to the SmackDown vs Raw wrestling style, the chain wrestling style. Fans want the early match chain wrestling minigames, the tie-ups, the transitions, and the reversals, with optional logic-based exits. For example, break clean using the ropes, or brush off, push your opponents away. We all think they would be a fantastic, realistic way of having these early chain wrestling styles within a match. Adding to that, a stamina-based system that gradually increases aggression would create a pacing variety as well. If you are a superstar that has suffered severity of damage, then you are going to be slower when it comes to these chain wrestling minigames. A lot of people want to see the return of the directional grapples. They want to see brought back the 4-directional grapple system, up, down, left, and of course right, with unique animations depending on strength, fatigue, and opponent status. So an example of that with the strength would be, obviously we have now the giant archetype when it comes to the superstars. That is a fantastic, brilliant addition, but we want to see more when it comes to potentially high flyers or technical wrestlers. There needs to be more kind of graphical intuition when it comes to these types of superstars. Targeted limb damage, we want players to target specific body parts and actually cause a performance impact. For example, attacking the legs slows down the opponent, but they have a rather large limp or a worsening limp as the match goes on. They struggle to get to their feet. They have to use the ropes to get to their feet. Hence, they might even collapse just randomly throughout a match. Yes, it would be highly frustrating if that is the superstar you are controlling, but actually, it creates dynamic realism. If their arms are being attacked, then they should be able to hold their arms or their shoulder to showcase that they are actually suffering from that body part being injured. An abdomen, perhaps wrapping your arms around the stomach to showcase that you are suffering in the abdominal area with red body damage. And of course, if you are suffering from head damage, potentially putting their hands on their head and shaking it, trying to, blow off the cobwebs from the injury that they have. All of these different things would add to their already fantastic character models and the photorealistic faces that they have. We want these superstars to actually feel like they have been in and through an epic battle. Adding to that, and to increase the realism in WWE 2K26, we want rest holds and match pacing. Too many times we have a breakneck match going at 100 miles per hour with no real pacing to it. Most wrestling matches now do have a flurry of offensive moves, with both superstars having to take a physical rest because it's just so full on. Having potentially a recharge stamina meter could slow the pace down, and AI should use them too in longer matches. Potentially using submission moves like sleeper holds and chin locks could really be useful when slowing a match down. Injury and fatigue system, we have kind of actually touched on this, but visible limping, clutching ribs, falling off ropes from exhaustion, injury affects the mobility and the move availability, and then going back to this stamina system, you actually have to use that to be able to stand up on your feet, or not having to use the ring ropes to climb up and get back on your feet. All of these things can be fully implemented. Advanced AI logic. AI should know how to build a match. Early chain wrestling, finishes late game, selling fatigue. Heels should cheat, baby faces should make comebacks. Too many times, this is just very generic. How many times have we seen Cody Rhodes use a cheat move or a heel move? And then how many times do we see wrestlers utilize a finisher early on in the game? Whether you were to add a timing so that after the first 8 minutes of a WWE 26 wrestling match, that is when a finisher can be used by the AI. It's all too clunky and all a bit too chaotic for me. Environment and weapon interactivity. Object-specific interactions. Use ring posts, announce tables, barricades, steps, and more in more organic ways. Powerbomb into the barricade corner. DDT on the steps. We have all of these amazing and wonderful items, but not really much we can do with them apart from picking them up and hitting our opponent with them. We would also quite like to see a multi-layer weapon physics. We want to be able to stack chairs, set up tables on top of ladders, create multiple table finishes. Fans want unique animations. We want to really be able to feel these weapons and feel that they actually cause an insurmountable amount of damage. I'd like to see things such as the concerto being used, or putting the chair and wrapping it around an opponent's neck or a leg or an arm, and again use that in that injury system, where doing that significantly increases the injury to an arm or a leg or a various different limb. For me, I think it is definitely a no-brainer. Backstage expansion. Now this is one of the big lacking parts of WWE 2K26. Yes, we have the most lifelike, photorealistic stages and arenas, and they are truly brilliant. But WWE is a lot more about the fancy stuff on the outside. We have the innards, multiple backstage zones. We have the parking lot, which is fantastic, and we have the backstage area, which has been the same for a few years now. I want to see various locker rooms. I want to see the gorilla area. I want to see a GM's managing office. I want to see so much more, potentially outside of an arena. That would be pretty good that we can utilize. This all needs to be obviously parceled in with the next generation of graphics as well. And we have had this in previous games, so why not with WWE 2K26? Yes, they did a decent job with 2K25, but as the game evolves, we also need to see that backstage area evolve pretty quickly and much more. There is so much more to do. We can see weapons such as fire extinguishers. We can use lockers to pound our opponent's head into. We can use TVs. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could see another match taking place whilst we're backstage fighting? Now, speaking of match types, WWE 2K25 did well to add a few more match types, most famously the ambulance match, which was pretty good, although at times very frustrating. But who doesn't want to see an Inferno match return to the franchise, where you win by setting your opponent on fire, optimal flaming tables and weapons? A true-to-life buried alive match where you win by tossing your opponent into a makeshift grave and then shoveling dirt into that grave. You can have a little cutscene where it's finished up as well, and then the winning superstar falls back on that mound of dirt and wins the match. The I Quit match, voice acted by every single WWE superstar that says I quit. That is the way to win that match. The Championship Scramble, timed matches where multiple pinfalls create interim champs until the final bell. The Strap match, or the Dog Collar match, where wrestlers are tied together, win by touching all four corners or via submission. First Blood, again a very popular one. Early finishes, brawling weapons, blood threshold system. So you actually win that by obviously making your opponent bleed. 3 stages of hell, a tiered match. First is a standard fall, second is a table, and the third is a cage. Fully customizable for each stage as well. Iron Survivor, where timed entry match with a point system, penalty boxes, and strategy layering. That was rumored to be in WWE 2K25, but unfortunately it hasn't made it. A stretcher match where opponents are carried into an ambulance, not actually tossed into it like we have, so you can just edit up that ambulance match. And the Tag Team Elimination Chamber, 6 teams of 2 enter at intervals, and eliminations last until the last team remains. They are just a few match types that I feel do need to be brought back into the WWE 2K franchise. Most of them we've had in previous games, so why they can't bring them back now, I have no idea. There is so much that they can do with WWE 2K26 these days, so these matches are the bare minimum that should be added to 2K26. Now, let's move on to some of the biggest wants from the WWE 2K fan base. Single player and narrative modes. Create a story designer, and we want it revamped. We want to be able to drag and drop cutscenes, crowd reactions, and branching choices. We want voice lines, text-to-speech, or something customized to that effect. We want to use any WWE or custom superstar. Community uploads of stories with ratings and difficult settings. 1,000 plus cutscenes across backstage, parking lot, ring, stage, all of those other areas I said they should add into the game. And trigger conditions like title wins or heel face turns or a rivalry intensifying. A lot of people want to see the Road to WrestleMania season mode return, fully voiced, linear and with branching storylines. Choosing different paths as superstars as John Cena, Becky Lynch potentially. Decisions impact your allies, the titles and the match types, and you earn perks as in run-ins, custom entrances and alternative attires. My Rise, a lot of people want to see that overhauled as well. For me, My Rise is as good as it's going to get. I want it to stay a little bit more grounded. I don't like the supernatural element to it for me. That's poo. Universe mode, the big one. Universe mode has been unloved for many years now. We need to integrate full general manager tools such as budgets, trades, injuries, and contracts. We need rivalries with branching feuds, cutscenes, and commentary changes. In fact, the commentary teams need to be addressed and put onto the right brands. Layered promos with success and failure based on your attributes. Inter-promotional storylines, i.e. a Raw vs SmackDown SummerSlam, or not SummerSlam, a Survivor Series, NXT vs Legends. There's so much that they could do with the inter-promotional storylines, a champ v champ. Dynamic AI-generated storylines when a player is inactive. So how many times do we see really unrealistic Akira Tozawa in a rivalry with Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? The AI should automatically structure superstars into various different groups. So you have your World Heavyweight Championship kind of group with 8 or 9 superstars in there, and then tier that all the way down to whatever the fuck you want, whether it's the Speed Championship or whatever. My GM needs an expansion, 6+ brands supported, custom to Legacy, more match types like Hell in a Cell, TLC, Elimination Chambers, fully customizable rosters and legends. Start hiring staff like trainers, agents and medics, and draft trades, sabotage options and inter-brand pay-per-view takeovers. And potentially we could have a showcase what if mode. What if the streak never ended? What if the Nexus beat Cena? What if The Rock never left? Fantasy commentary and alternative cutscene outcomes, and allow players to unlock alternative versions of these superstars, the arenas, and those endings. There is so much that WWE 2K26 really could add into their game. But what one feature is it that you would love to see WWE 2K26 integrate? Let us know down in the comments section. And if you've stayed this long into the video, thank you so much. And we will see you all very soon.